All right, guys. Hey, so man, really glad to be with you guys this morning. And it's from what we understand that the entire sales and management staff for Ford of West Memphis is in the room. And this is David Cribbs. I'm David Villa, and we're here to talk to you guys. Obviously, we're with Auto Dealer University as well as IPD, and here to talk to you guys just a little bit about this incredibly strong sale we've got coming up. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this personally, Larry's a good friend of mine, and great guy. And, obviously we can't do this for every client by far. We do this maybe once with Dave and I, once every 6 months maybe. And but I just really wanted this to be a home run for you guys. And so I'm just going to talk, and Dave's going to get into in a couple minutes just a little bit of the nuts and bolts. This guy spent 20 plus years on the retail side of the car business. He started originally here in our marketing side before the training side about 5 years ago, and actually for about 2.5 years did nothing but walk every one of our general manager and management team through this program for about the first 2.5 years he was here. So but I just want to talk to you guys about opportunity really quick, because I know this. I know that you do a lot of marketing in the car business. I know there's a lot of programs, and and if you judge them, if you judge this program or any program that you haven't done yet by the fruit of the program in the past, I think that it's not fair, obviously, to the company that's doing it. But I'm not here to really talk about that. B, it's really not fair to you. And let me explain why. You're in this business to make money, and you're in this business to sell cars, and so I want to talk to you guys about really clearing the slate from any kind of preconceived notion and going after opportunity. And so I'm just going to talk for a couple of minutes. I just want to, just spend maybe 10 minutes tops talking to you guys about opportunity. And then again, David will come in and he can weigh in on that as well. Mm-hmm. And then bring in some actual practical, how this thing's going to work. And we'll be out of your guys' hair here in just a few minutes. But really, if you guys follow what I do at all, I talk a lot about being a game changer, and opportunity is a must to be a game changer. When I think of a game changer, I know this is before any of our time, and I'm presuming that even the oldest person in the room, this is before your time as well, Babe Ruth. But we all know who that person is, or we've heard of that name. And when I think of a game changer in baseball, I think of somebody who did it before all the equipment was technologically advanced. He did it before before social media, before TV, before all of this, and did it basically from raw skill and passion for the game. And so I'm looking at a couple of things. Number one, he was a home run king. Okay, I think we all know that. He had more home runs than anyone else. But the thing that we don't know a lot of times about him, and maybe you know this, it's been in some talks and trainings and so forth. But in case you don't, he was also the strikeout king, right? Which I like to add a third one, right? Those are the two. Somebody will say he's the home run king. Everyone's like, yeah, I know that. But he was the strikeout king as well, which really it made him the king at one other thing, the king of opportunity. And that's really, I think he would never have been, I know he would never have been the home run king if he weren't the strikeout king. And what that tells me is that he just went for it, right? He swung, he took opportunity. And a lot of times I can look at my own life in sales, and I can tell you that there are plenty of times where through apprehension, man, I was like, through fear of failing, through fear of loss, fear of like, I've done this before, I've seen it. I didn't swing. I didn't go after it. And, I can tell you that any success that I've arrived at today has been because I've taken the opportunity to swing at it. So the guy has a candy bar named after him, right? I mean, come on, that's pretty strong, right? So he gave himself opportunity, and he got in the lineup. You can really look at it this way. You could have showed up today, right, in whatever your finest, suit, what your finest Ford of West Memphis Polo. I mean, I'm talking about the good color, the one you like the most, right? You had your husband, your wife, or you washed it yourself. You had it dry cleaned, because today I'm closing out strong. I'm finishing strong. I'm going to kick off August strong. Man, this year's I'm not tracking what I wanted to, and so I'm going to go after it today. But unless you put yourself in the lineup, right? You could have the best outfit on. You could look the part. You could have, brushed your teeth, brushed your hair, man, talked yourself up all the way to work, got yourself fired up. But unless you get up to the plate and take a shot, you're not going to hit the ball, and you certainly don't have an opportunity to hit a home run. And if you guys are in Auto Dealer University, I say this all the time, but I this is something I repeat to myself far more than I say to anyone else. If you don't get off the bench, and you don't get in the game, you aren't a game changer. You won't break records, and eventually you will not be successful at sales, period, because it's too much rejection and too much loss that if you don't have some wins and if you don't get in the game and do it at a higher level, you're going to fade out, right? Because, I mean, all of us will burn out. So I want to look at talent for a second, right? Talent won't cut it, and potential doesn't matter. If you're the best player in the room, right, the best player in the team, and yet you don't, number one, get up to the plate. Number two, you don't put on the uniform. Or number three, you don't even swing at a pitch. I mean, listen, if you're a leader in the room, and what I mean by leader is even if you are a sucky leader, right? And I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm saying even if you are not the best leader by maybe, definition of leader, but somebody's looking to you, I'd say, man, be the first one to take a swing at this sale. Be the first one to take an up. Be the first one to take any preconceived notion that you've ever had and say, you know what, I'm going to give this thing a shot, and be a real leader, because the reality is there's others looking at you. And maybe your talent gets you to where you are. But man, I'm telling you something, not everybody can do that. And if you want to be a leader, I've seen really, really good and talented people that are able to pull their months out somehow, have other people follow them that aren't as talented and followed some of the practices and failed because they weren't as talented. They didn't have the ability to do what that talented person do. So, I was going to bring a deposit slip in here, and I was going to hold it up because I was going to say, on the deposit slip it says, cash, coins. I know we do everything electronically today, but it's still deposit slips say cash, coins, right? What method do you want to deposit? And the one thing it doesn't say is potential. You can't deposit potential. You can only unlock it. And so, I want to read the definition of opportunity, and then I'm going to let Dave weigh in here. Opportunity is a couple of things I wrote down: appropriate time or occasion. Appropriate. Number two, a good position or chance for advancement. Man, if any person, trust me on this, Larry, I know enough about Larry. I don't know the other leaders there, but I'm assuming that most good leadership, they'll notice you. You want to be advanced, you want to advance, then I'm going to tell you, you don't have to worry about getting someone's attention your way. You just do it, and I promise you, in this business, if any driver that's worth their salt, any leader is going to notice those that are doing it. So, number two, a good position or chance for advancement, and number three, a suitable time. So I'm going to say this, man, our days, our weeks, this week, you guys are closing out, and the sales getting ready to hit as well. It's going to impact mostly, obviously, closing out, but it's going to impact a lot of August. I'd say that this is full of opportunities, right? And so I'm going to say, every morning when you leave your house, every day when you're headed home, and you're getting ready to step into the war zone, because let's just face it, this isn't Home Depot, right? This isn't a grocery store. We're working we get rejected for a living. We get told no for a living. And so I'm going to tell you the opportunities are out there. You just have to find them. And don't expect them to be lying on the ground, right? They're not in the lay down. They're not in the floor up that's just like walking in, right? They're in the places that most people don't want to look, and they're under a rock that most people don't want to lift up. And that's where they are. And so opportunities are what present themselves after you beat the freaking door down. After you beat the door down, right? And of resistance, that's when opportunities present themselves. Dave, I'm going to let you weigh in, brother.
Well, thank you, and thanks for everyone. I think it's a really cool sign right away that Larry mentioned that the whole team is here, including finance managers, sales managers. So it should be very clear that the dealership has invested in what's about to take place. And I can assure you that what you're going to see is this sale is going to change the outcome of the month, whether that be, it's probably going to look like August, right? So it's going to affect August more than July probably. But the point is, when it's all said and done, you're going to see a lot of new marks on the board that are direct result of this campaign. So the point to that is that I want to speak to you, even though we're addressing the entire room, I really want to speak to each individual now. I want you to focus as an individual, because this is going to change the outcome individually and corporately. But right now, since everyone is in the room, including sales managers and finance managers, I'm going to kind of speak to each of you for a moment. So first of all, I want to share with you what's going to be occurring prior to you meeting a customer. We actually have a full internet BDC team here at our location that's communicating with the clients before they even arrive at your dealership. So I'm going to kind of share a little bit of what that looks like, and also bring up the point that there will be those who show up at the sale or at your dealership from this particular mailer that may not have called in. So you'll get additional traffic from that, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But let's focus on what will be occurring more often is you're going to see appointments. You'll see appointments set in your CRM, and your management staff will be able to share those with you. And these appointments have already gone through an interview process. So what we want to make sure that we do is make sure that the messaging when they arrive matches up with what they've heard before. And that's why I want to share a few of these things. So we're going to walk through with that customer, and we're going to share with them that, hey, this is a legitimate offer. Not only is it legitimate, we actually reached out to the credit bureau, and our lenders have confidence. They compiled a list of people that were pre-qualified for us to send an offer to. So this is a legitimate offer. So we're walking through that with the customer, kind of justifying what it is they got in the mail. We're validating what it is that they got in the mail. And then we're going through a series of questions. We're asking them, things like, what are you driving now? The typical interview questions that you would do right there on the lot. We're doing it here on the phone. We're doing it very thoroughly. So some of these appointments that we have set up that you're going to see, you're going to have intelligence on them prior to them even arriving. So I want to encourage you to really look at that, look at those notes and see what can I learn about this particular buyer before they even walk in. And one of the things I would also share, if you have time prior to an appointment and you have name and contact info, go ahead and check them out on social media. Look them, Google them. You never know. I always encourage that with any appointment, by the way, even in the future when you're not doing a sale. That's always a good tip because you never know who that client might be. So, for example, it could be a local real estate agent or a plumber or someone that you might be able to refer business to and kick that off in kind of a cool way with rapport and things like that. It's just a talking point. But let's go back to what that might look like when you receive that name and that appointment. Oftentimes, it's going to say something like, Sally Jones will be here 2:00 on Saturday. She's going to ask for Larry, the sales manager, and she's driving a 2012 Toyota Camry with 68,000 miles. She owes approximately $6,000 to Wells Fargo, is interested in an SUV, is open to pre-owned or new. So you're going to have some intelligence. Now, another appointment might look like, hey, Larry is going to be in at 5:00 on Monday, and Larry is driving a 2016 F-150, and that may be all it says, right? That may be all the intelligence we have at that point. But you can rest assured that they've gone through an interview process. Many of the interviews will result, by the way, in a credit application, an actual customer statement prior to coming in. So obviously, if someone has taken the time to fill out a customer statement prior to coming in, that obviously elevates the level. So the idea here is that this is not anything like what you may have experienced in the past. Consider the fact that these people are a little further advanced in this process. Many of them, again, coming to see if this is real. So the way that we receive them on the lot is going to be key to transitioning into a normal deal. And I would also like to say, and I know you're taking some notes, Dave, so let me know if you want to jump in or add anything. But one thing that I would share with you that I learned many years ago, because anytime a dealer puts a message out there or an offer, whether it be a mailer, whether it be a local radio ad, whether it be a newspaper ad, we've got the Ford Expedition starting at $31,999, whatever that might look like, right? And then the customer comes in and all the Expeditions are $50,000, but you got this ad that says they start at $31,999. We have to respond to that, right? So the point is, the way that we respond and the way that we transition that into a normal deal is paramount. So the first thing I would share with you is that every deal is a normal deal, by the way. No matter who you meet or how you meet them or what the circumstances are, think of every deal, no matter how many twists and turns they might share with you right off the bat. Think of every deal as a normal deal. I want to take every single deal and turn it into a normal deal. Now, in an ideal world, if we were working at the Disney dealership, what we would love to see is, as a salesperson, as a sales manager, it would be wonderful if we had every single person that walked through our door was already a set appointment, that'd be great, because we know that our closing ratio gets elevated when we have an appointment. The next thing that would be wonderful is if everyone that stepped foot on our lot or even called into our dealership would do everything the way that we would like to do it. That would be wonderful. We know that doesn't occur, but that would be, I think you would agree, that would be awesome, right? So imagine if every single person that walked on your lot had an appointment and wanted to come in and sit down with you and discuss how to move forward. That would be beautiful, instead of trying to wing it on the lot and different things like that. So when it comes to this type of event or this type of sale, that customer has been sent something in the mail. Now, again, we're interviewing 90% of them ahead of time, but even if someone just walks on the lot, here is the beauty, in my opinion, of a mailer. And
let me just say one thing too, just about that they not only have been sent a letter, but there's a lot of connected marketing that goes into this as well. So in a digital age that we're sitting here doing a sales meeting virtually, over out of our studios here, and talking to you guys as if we're sitting in front of you. So we're obviously in a digital and social world. So we've connected with major digital components. We connect with mobile targeting, we connect with Facebook ads, and email sales funnels. Not just an email blast, but an intelligent email sales funnel system that actually dialogues with the customer, sends second, third, and fourth messages based on their response or lack of response to the first, second, and third messages. And all of that combines and goes first and foremost to the customer that we pull the pre-approval to. So it's a very, when this customer's had multiple touches, so to speak, and very well may be coming in because of the Facebook ad through our BDC, or very well may be coming in. They got the mailer, they saw it, but they responded to the the email blast, or they got the mailer, they got the email blast, they got the Facebook ad, but they're responding through geofencing and mobile targeting. So it starts with this customer through the bureau that's pre-approved, and then we compile all this connected marketing. So it's imperative that we understand that one thing that's for certain about this customer is that they fit into the criteria that we selected with your team, number one, and number two, they're interested. They have gone through and kind of hopped through whatever you should say, some hoops,
yes,
to get to this place, and spent 10, 15 minutes on the phone. And one of the other things, Cribbs, I know is real important. Right now, we're averaging about 60% of the appointments that are sent over to dealerships that we work with have full credit apps. So our team doesn't just send an appointment over, but they're filling out a complete, consumer profile, getting all the data and information, not a 5-liner, but everything you need, right? And submitting that to you prior to the appointment coming in. That's gold, man. I mean, you have a customer that, and by the way, they're telling them what steps to bring in. So this customer's showing up to the dealership prior to showing up. You have their information, and then they walk in at 2:00 asking for the person by name with their utility bill and their paycheck stuff.
Right, right.
I mean, that's strong.
Yeah. So essentially, what we've done ahead of time is we're handicapping everything. We're handicapping it as much as possible to set you up, give you an edge, and give you the most primed customer, right? So what I want to share with you real quickly is now, how do you handicap the rest of it once that customer arrives? That's really what I want to talk about, because this is paramount as far as how the dealer should carry out the sale once the customer actually arrives. So I want to talk about that for a moment. As I mentioned earlier, it would be great if everyone came in and just sat down and we were able to do an interview to kind of kick the deal off in the right direction. Well, here's the cool thing about this event. This is exactly what it sets you up to do. One of the things I love about a mailer sale, especially one that involves appointments, is it takes me right there to that place. In other words, it puts me right in the sales process that I would ideally want to be in, or ideally want to start with, which is the appointment. But even if, so let's just walk through that for a second. So a customer arrives and they know that they have an appointment. They're set up to ask for a manager, right? So that manager may be Larry. It might be someone else on the staff that we've used. But the point is, they're going to walk in and they're going to ask for that manager. Now, we all know that that customer is going to be turned over to a particular salesperson that's going to work from there. But there are a couple things that I would encourage you to do, and now I'll kind of address the management team. if it is possible, and it looks a little bit different in every dealership, but staff-wise, if it's possible, it would be fantastic if the manager can come out and greet the customer once they arrive, because remember, that is who they're asking for with the appointment. And this gives us a special opportunity. So what it does is it gives us a couple of things. Number one, as a closer, because typically whoever we're asking for as the manager is likely to be the same person that will be involved later in the deal if a TO is necessary, right? Whether that's helping structure or coming in to help close, or even just saying thank you for your business. So if you can actually meet the customer when they arrive and greet them and say, hey, welcome to our big sale. Glad that you came in. Glad to see you at your appointment. I want to introduce you to Susie or Frank or whoever. I'm going to start working on my end. Let us know how you can help. Here's what we're doing. That kind of thing, and then. You've had that initial touch. And what that does is it gives you an advantage, obviously, of just that little bit of rapport. It also makes the customer feel very important. So engaging up front with a manager instead of just going straight to another person when they arrive would be gold if you can pull it off staff-wise. I know sometimes it gets busy and that might be a challenge, but if you can do that, that would be wonderful. The next thing I want to share with you is even though we've handicapped all of these things with this client coming in, we cannot make certain assumptions. So, and what I mean by that is we're going to assume that they're all buyers, but we're also going to have to kind of believe that, hey, they still may have some skepticism, okay? And everyone that walks into a dealership for the first time is going to have a different way that they're approaching you, even if their intent is to hopefully drive home in a car. They're not going to come in, as we all know, we've all heard the saying, right? If someone comes in and says, hey, I want to buy a car today, run, right? That's typically the case. The point is the true buyers aren't going to necessarily wave the flag and say, hey, I'm here to buy a car. What they will do, however, in most cases, and I'm talking about buyers or someone that may, because we do have prizes, gifts that we give out with these sales as well. And if you do have someone that, even if it was through our appointment or they just walk in and their motive is really just to get that gift, because we'll have a few of those, right? And the one thing I want to say, by the way, about a gift getter is they're hugely valuable. They're actually valuable to us because of what's happening in the showroom, right? Activity breeds activity. And when a buyer walks in and sees 3 or 4 other people in the showroom, it is evidence to them that there's something happening special here. It gives them a better feeling, even if it's subconsciously. So they're very valuable. But the point to it is the buyer and someone who might just be a gift getter react the same way initially when we greet them. That's very important to internalize. And there's a reason that they do that. Number one, they're skeptical. But most importantly, the reason that they do that is because even buyers who have an appointment don't necessarily know how things are going to start off. So what they do typically is the conversation piece. Well, hey, I got this thing in the mail. It also says I won something, whatever. So here's how we're going to respond to that. When someone comes in for whether it be an appointment, even if they don't mention that, we're going to be proactive in bringing that up. In fact, it is what lines us up to be in our sales process. And here's what that looks like. So someone walks in for an appointment or with a mailer. Hey, do you have your mailer with you? If it's not out, ask them for it. And then say, hey, so great to see you. By the way, you've also won something, and we're going to check that out for you right away. And then, of course, I'll answer any questions you might have. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to transition. So I'll make it a little bit more detailed. I'm just going to role play with you for a second, Dave.
Okay.
So you've shown up at the dealership with your mailer.
Hey, man.
Hey, welcome. Hey, I'm Dave. Welcome to Memphis Ford. Thank you so much. I see you got one of our mailers.
Yeah.
It's a great offer, and also I know that you have a chance that you've maybe won something.
Yeah.
In fact, you might be a grand prize winner. So let's go ahead and check this, Dave, and see what you've won, and then I'll get you registered for sale. Tell you what this is about. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check it out, and then I'm just gonna go right to my desk, and what I'm gonna do is when I get to the desk and, I've got hopefully you've already gotten your notes or printout or whatever for information of the customer, but if not, it's going to be on the mailer, plus they're right there live, right? So then what I'm going to do is, what that's going to look like is I'm going to say, Dave, I just want to verify a couple things and we'll check your prize. This is your last name, David Villa, is that right?
Yes.
You spell that Villa?
Yes.
Right, okay, and this is your current home address?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So also, I just wanted to kind of clarify again why you received this letter in the mail. Basically, we reached out to the credit bureau and asked our lenders to do so and compile a list of people that we could extend an offer to. Your name was on that list. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And one of the first things that our lenders and whatnot are gonna look for is essentially, Dave, just what type of vehicle we would be looking at. So did you have an idea of what you wanted to see today? Would it be a four-door, a car, a SUV, truck? Do you have an idea?
I mean, I drive a truck now.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So what type of truck do you have? I see on my notes here it said
F-150.
that you had an F-150, right? And how many miles are on the F-150? What year is F-150? I've got it showing
2015.
I've got it showing as a 2015. Perfect. And now is that a extended four-door, four-wheel drive? Okay,
Yep.
Okay, four-door F-150. Is it a certain model like an XLT or
XLT? Yeah.
XLT? Okay, all right. So you get the idea. I'm going to go down that list, and then I'm going to ask about the miles on the truck. Okay, there's 86,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another key question I'm going to ask. I'm going to say, Dave, 86,000 miles. I'm going to say, did you buy that brand new, or did you buy it pre-owned? You did.
Bought it
Okay,
new.
so you've had it since day one.
I had day one.
Awesome. I love those vehicles. When that vehicle first came out with that Triton motor and whatnot, and the EcoBoost, whatever. See, now I'm going to talk about that particular trade for a moment. And what I'm really doing here is just gaining a little bit of rapport, right? I want to get to know Dave a little bit better. It's just basics, but I have to bring that up. This is what this mailer has just done for you in this particular scenario. If you respond and react that way, is you're proactively addressing whatever the customer may have won. You're letting them know we're going to take care of that, because whether they're a buyer or someone that might just be looking for a gift, either way, that's important to them. It's a good thing, right? It's a great, but most of all for us, it's a segue. It segues and transitions us right into that interview and qualifying process. So once we kind of go through that and verify all that, take our notes, then we're going to go to the desk. We're going to check out the winners. We sent you a prize board where you can match up those winning numbers. So the other thing, let's say for example that you do get someone that comes in and they say, you know what, I appreciate the offer. I'm just not ready right now. I just wanted to really check my price. No problem. Let me just verify those couple things like you just did. We can check your prize right away. Give me just one moment. I'm going to go get Larry. He does all of the prize. So now Larry comes in, or anyone else that's going to be one of the TO people. They come in and they meet Mr. Villa, and they say, Mr. Villa, I understand that you just want to check your prize. It's a great offer here. Let me ask you, did you have an idea? And this is a great transition question, by the way, for those who are saying that they're just there maybe to get that gift. So I'm going to come in as the manager or the TO. I'm going to thank them for the opportunity. Let them know again, hey, we sent this offer to you. Understand if it's not good timing. Let me ask you a question because, Dave, even though today may not be the day, we'd love to be the dealership that earns your business in the future. Let me ask you a question. On a timeline, as far as replacing a vehicle for you, can you give me an idea of how far out you are? Are you about 3 months away, 6 months away?
Maybe 6 months, maybe.
Probably about 6 months away. Okay, perfect. And hopefully we'll be the dealer for you, like I said, in 6 months. But let me ask you a question. Is there a reason you're waiting for the 6 months as opposed to currently with the offers we have?
My lease.
Just your lease? Okay. So you have a lease right now, and that's the lease of this F-150, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. And so essentially you're leasing the vehicle. Have you decided at the end if you feel like you're going to keep the car? Are you going to keep releasing or get it something different this time?
Yeah.
You're going to get something different. Yeah. Okay. So you've been leasing. So you've been in it for a while, Dave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And let me this is really important also on a lease. I know that you have a limitation on your miles. Let me ask you, how many miles do you have on
I'm over.
You're over on the miles? Okay, so you've got about 70,000 miles on this truck, and I think you're allotted about 42,000. So you're quite a bit over, Dave. You're quite a bit over there. So is that a concern for you?
Yeah,
because I know I know they have a mileage penalty, which, the good news is you got the use out of the extra miles. So the bad news is obviously you'll have to pay for the excess that you went over at one. Now, do you see what I did there for a moment? I said the good news is you got the use out of, so he understands that he has value from the miles that were put on, but it also, so I'm giving him good news and bad news, right? But obviously you're going to have to pay a little bit over. Now, that might even be some part of, I can't speak for you obviously, but might have something to do with why you wouldn't want to turn in or trade out early. But let me just share this with you. What is your current payment right now?
$450.
$450. Okay. So your payment is $450 and you have 6 months left, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's about $2,700. And Dave, I don't know if you know this or not, but did you know that you don't have to pay a penalty if you actually buy it, sell it, or trade it? I don't know if you knew that or not. Mm-mm. But if you buy it, sell it, or trade it, you don't have to pay a penalty. As a matter of fact, if you only have about a total of $2,700 left in payments, I think we might have we might be able to work this in a way where we can go ahead and pay this off for you, finish out your remaining payments. We would look at it kind of like a trade, but the bottom line is, let me just ask you this. Forget this situation for a moment. You're in a truck now. What do you see yourself moving to next?
Truck.
Another truck. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Perfect. So obviously maybe another F-150. You've been happy with that? Okay. Mm-hmm. So you see where I'm going here. The point is that you have something. I did the same thing at an actual sale in a dealership. I had a lady walk in. She said, "Hey, I can't really trade right now. I'd love to, but I can't trade." And then I said, "Well, what is it why can't you trade? What would be an issue of keeping you from trading?" She said, "Well, I'm in a lease." And she said, and I said, "Well, how long have you been in the lease? How much do you have left?" She had 3 months left. I said, 3 months? I said, that's part of what we're doing here today is we're helping people that are, very close to the end of the lease. How about I take you out of that lease, right? We can transition you right now, maybe keep your payment the same. Lord, who knows? Let's do that. And of course that opened it up right away. But in this particular case, that particular person legitimately thought that even if she wanted to, she could not because she had to finish out these 3 remaining payments. We know that that's not the case. So the point is we're going to take the deal a little bit further. Mm-hmm. So it sets you up. If you respond to the mailer in this way, it puts you right in the interview spot. It sets you up for a TO if necessary. But most of all, it allows you to talk with the customer and begin to paint the picture of how to move forward. So I want you to visualize that. And for the finance managers, real quick, I just also wanted to share with you, obviously you're going to have some intelligence ahead of time on this customer that will help you out. I would encourage the whole management team to look at who's coming in and look at possibilities. If there's enough intel there, we might even have cars in mind, especially pre-owned cars that we know that might work for this particular customer. But also, more importantly, is that early touch, getting out there early. We talked about the manager coming in early or the appointment. Let's get the finance managers out there on the floor as well. It does the same thing. Not only does it make the customer feel special, but it allows the finance managers who typically don't get seen or don't have the opportunity to get rapport with the customer until they're walking in their office. It gives them the opportunity to connect with that customer just for a moment or two, and gives them peace of when they meet again, we're in a much better place. So I'm not going to go on and on about that. What I would share with each and every one of you is Dave was right. This is a huge opportunity. There will be a lot of marks on the board. I'm going to encourage you to kind of slow down when you have a customer and really work that thoroughly, because this is not a one-day sale where you have to kind of weed through everybody real fast. It'll be very methodical. So I want you to really slow down, take advantage of each and every opportunity. Dave, did you have something to finish?
Yeah, I'm going to open it up, Larry. Mm-hmm. I know there's a little delay.
Yep.
So I'm not sure exactly how the questions, if there are any, but I want to say this too, because we don't do these often like this. So it's, because when we do, I want it to be a little special. So I'm going to do something for the first 5 people, Larry, that sell a deal for the first 5 deals off of this mail, I'm gonna give $100 per deal to your guys,
Come on.
to your gals and guys. So whoever the first 5 deals are, I mean, and you just let me know, and we're gonna cut a check to, and we're gonna send out $100 per deal, just because I want you guys to know that we're on board with you. So, that's all we got, man. Hopefully we fired you guys up and let you know that this is going to be different. You got some training out of it as well. We can't get on in front of people like this and not train, and we just want to help people. So with that, I'll just let you guys, unmute it, and we'll pause for a second here and just see if you guys have anything to say or add to it. Larry?
Dave, our first question is that $100 a deal going to be cash in fist?
I have to get with my.
Wow, you do that.
I guess we have to just probably send it'll be a check to send out made to their name for $100. They don't have to pay taxes on it if it's under. If that's what you're asking, I don't know if I guess we have to.
He's answering the question. He's got to give it a second.
So yeah, we'll just send like if it's John Smith wins it or Susie Jones, we'll just write him a check for $100. I guess that's pretty
Dave,
much.
Our first question is that $100 a deal going to be cash in fist?
You guys, I have to get with my. I guess we have to just probably send it. It'll be a check to send out made to their name for $100. They don't have to pay taxes on it if it's under. If that's what you're asking. I don't know.
That's funny.
We'll just send it. Like if John Smith wins it or Susie Jones, we'll just write him a check for $100.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's great. Our first question is that $100 deal and cash in fist. I have to get with mine.
Oh, we're getting feedback there. Hey, just real quick, I know we kind of ran a little bit long, but we only got a few minutes left here. But if you could just address 2 things for me real quick. First, the giveaway, kind of explain that program just a little bit. And then also, as you and I talked early in the process here, we are in kind of a credit-challenged market.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of explain just real quick kind of the difference between the mailers we've done in the past, the Capital Ones, and that type of thing versus what we've done here.
No problem. You want to mute me back on, and I'll answer that. All right, so the question was, I'll tackle the gifts first. That's that great question, and it's something that is we hear normally, again, not in this scenario, but we hear it on the original demo to put a dealer on this program or on the initial walkthrough with the management team, and I get it, because there's you don't want a moocher or a tire kicker, and you get your share of that probably anyway. I mean, you could give away hot dogs on a Saturday and have the whole community come in and not be interested in the car. So number one, I don't want you to think it's that type of sale, and that's a very good question. We did touch on it a little bit, but to really put the emphasis on it, it isn't that kind of sale. And we use we don't have a greeter there. We don't have a desk with golf balls and umbrellas and things like that. However, we put a process together here, and that's one of the things that my guy Blaisdell, and I'm pretty sure I think that, and I can't remember, Larry, and you don't have to answer me now, but I don't know if you guys have done the walkthrough with him or if it's after this. I can't remember if this was first or not, but either way, there either was a walkthrough with your management team or there will be, and they'll emphasize that this is a process. So we have people calling into our BDC or responding all these measures. Instead of trying to get them to come straight into your store, like Cribbs had mentioned earlier, you're going to have people that do just come in. That's out of our control. But for the most part, this is funneled into us. And the reason is, back in the day, we'd have a greeter, and we'd have people come in, and it's just that's the best ultimate way to do it. It just, unfortunately, less people do that on their own. So when you leave that up to people and say, hey, go to Ford of West Memphis, they just tend to procrastinate, find other things to do. So what we did is shorten the threshold or lower the threshold, and we have them respond. So the gifts are designed to get them to initially respond. I guess the short of it is, you take them out of the mailer, less people respond. You put them in, more people respond. Now, with that being said, they're not really your problem. We actually take that burden that used to be on the dealer for the most part. We actually take that burden on the call, and we actually dismantle that and spend the 5, 10, 15 minutes per rep on the phone to get that customer into the frame of mind to buy. And to be honest with you, they may call because of the gift. Only reason we know that is less less do when there's no gift on there. But very rarely does someone mention that on the BDC call even. And so it's a very streamlined process. And then when they get into the dealership, you're going to have some that ask for it. But, again, Cribbs' method is to take that objection or to take that to them and make that part of the initial celebration of them coming in. But this will not by any means be a gift mailer or like a moocher type mailer. Yeah.
Also, just
and then I'll talk about the list thing when he's done.
Yeah, and also just to clarify real quickly, that prize board that's going to match up with the mailer so that you can check to see what the customer has won. That should, in an ideal world, again, should be kept in the sales office. And the reason for that is it sets you up again. It provides you that introductory opportunity, whether it's for an early touch, but most importantly, for a TO or interview to make certain, just like we kind of played out here, that there's not something there before we dismiss that opportunity. If you do happen to get someone who just is solely focused on a gift, we have our complete blessing to get through that quickly, and this sets you up for that as well. But it also ensures that there are no missed opportunities, and it gives you the opportunity for that early introduction, and it just kind of legitimizes everything in the process. And again, when you initially respond to that mailer, addressing that immediately puts you right into, it gives you the opportunity to say, hey, yeah, let's check what you want and register you. The whole idea behind that is you're leading right to your desk for that interview, so that we can begin our normal sales process.
Yeah. And so regarding the other question, or the second part of that question on data, different than other mailers, and Larry mentioned Cap One, and this mailer is designed, and I've done them all. I've been in the automotive direct mail business since 1995. It was a long time, and we've done saturation mail back in the day, invitational sales, every type of mailer I'm familiar with, and this is the only thing that this has in common with a mailer. Those types of mailers is there is a piece that goes in the mailbox, and other than that, which every American has. And that's the thing, that when somebody says, and this is really, really, really important, because there are people in the room that have had bad experiences, probably all of you, with direct mail. And so I want you to understand it's not a mailbox that you don't like. It's not paper or stamps that you don't like. It's the result. It's the experience. And so, somebody would say, I don't like direct mail, and so I get what they mean by that. Well, the reason that we put it in the mailbox is because statistically, direct mail has the highest today in 2019. It's actually higher today, the higher statistics of open ratios today in 2019, since the highest ratio since 2002. And because there's less in the mailbox, and people open it, it breaks the threshold of the home, and so the response is there. So we use this as one of the initial forms, and then we surround it with the digital. But going back to the database, or how we use the data, this is the customer that we pulled by using the scores through your F&I office. So, I don't have the information right in front of me, so this is going to be an example, but let's just use the example of maybe a 580 to 680, score range that's pulled through from Equifax.com through a lender, and there's a soft inquiry that shows on their report. So this is an offer of credit that's in their hand. And let's just say we added a minimum of $2,500 income, and no double bankruptcies, no repos, we kicked off anything that the lenders that you have in your portfolio would reject. And so this is a customer that has been niched. They're not a roach, they're not a bogue, they're not this, customer that you don't, not that we want to, they're not a customer that's not desired to market to, but yet they're not a customer that's not going to believe a pre-approved offer or they're going to know they're pre-approved. This is a customer that doesn't know where they stand. They've been niched out, and we kind of specialize in this. Mm-hmm. And so this is a customer that is not really sure where they stand, but is in a favorable position, that with the right situation and scenario, that you can put them in a vehicle. So that's the customer that we targeted in this, and so it's a very, very high quality list of the right people that you can make some gross on. What's really cool about this as well, you managers, that this is, our average PVRs on this are very high. This is a good. This isn't just a this isn't just a deal that's gonna it's gonna be a giveaway.
Yep.
This isn't that type of deal. So
Hopefully that answered.
hopefully that answered your question.
I think that's going to be it. I'm getting a bunch of no's for any additional questions, but listen, I just want to say thank you for the time. I appreciate everything you guys do. I know this is rare for you guys to do this kind of a kickoff at a dealership, and just the investment of time and the information has been great. We're looking forward to a successful sale.
Hey,
Fantastic.
us too, guys.
Thank
Larry,
you so
thank you
much.
so much, team, man. Look forward to it. I can't wait to find out who those five winners are. And hey, man, let's knock this thing out of the park. Have a great one, guys. Close strong and have a good August. Talk to you soon.